compared to Trump, he's sharp as a tack.
You think Biden is sharp as a tack compared to Trump?
Yes.
Some people today have said, compared to Trump, that Biden is sharp as a tack. What would you say to those people?
I think they're delusional.
Only you would know what you're saying. You look like you want to punch me.
I think
Cassidy, that's a big thing. Do you think all of Biden's cognition is there?
I don't think that. I think that is like an irrelevant conversation.
Irrelevant
Conversation, yes.
to who's going to be president?
Because I don't think that you or I have any capacity to really judge that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like, I didn't do a neuro exam on him.
There are some people here today that would say that his cognition is not anything for the citizens to judge. What would you say to that person?
I think it's everything for the citizens to judge. I mean, he's our leader. I mean, nobody gives him respect.
We can have a clean environment. We can end this chronic disease epidemic. We can have peace in the world, bring our troops home, and rebuild the American middle class.
Biden is absolutely unintelligible at the last. I mean, unless they jack him up with drugs. What was he on for the State of the Union?
Right, I was wondering the same thing. What cocktail did they have him on?
And when can I get that? When will that be commercially available?
We should all sort of kind of come together to support whatever politicians to make our country a better place. But we don't do that because the press stirs us up, and
Right.
we're always just, all we're doing is fighting with each other and nothing's getting done.
Right. Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Aaron again with American Interviews. Today we're out here at the Arcata Plaza for 420 to ask the question, who will win the 2024 presidential election? We're gonna find out.
Hopefully not some crooked-ass fucking politician.
Well, that's who's running, so.
Well, I hope no one who's running wins. That's any...
I don't think that's possible.
You don't think so?
For no one to win? No, I don't think that's possible.
Wouldn't we all win?
We would all win if no one won?
If no one person won? Yeah,
That's what you're saying, right?
I believe so.
Well, only you would know what you're saying. You look like you want to punch me.
Nah, I got anxiety, man.
Oh, okay. That's all right. You don't have to do this.
Well, I wasn't sure what you were gonna be asking me. I'm sorry if I came off hostile.
No, it's all right. You're not hostile. No. You just had that kind of like smile with the stare, looking like you wanted to punch me, but
Sorry. Yeah.
you're good. You're good. Are you all right?
Fine. Just, why does one person have to win this election? Why does any one person deserve that much power?
That's how our constitutional republic is set up. Oh, okay. Well, you have a good day.
Hope you get the interview.
Appreciate it.
You really want to do this? You might be upset.
I won't be upset.
All right. Who's going to win?
It's hard to get me upset. Nope. You can stand over here and I'll hold it for you.
All right,
Yeah.
All right. Who's going to win the 2024 election?
All right, we're going to pause for a second. This guy right here is one of the guys up at the pro-Palestinian protest turned to riot, obviously not a student. He tried to take my phone out of my hand and he pushed me. This was 2 days before all that happened. Let's see a clip of that.
Name one racist thing I've done.
Get out of here. Get out of
You
here,
just
bro.
tried to steal my phone
This person just assaulted me. Who's gonna win the 2024 election? Doesn't matter, because we're still gonna live the way we live because we are humans, and we will always live the way we want to. And there's a certain group of people, whether it be religious, political, or not, that are gonna determine their lives based on that. But there is a vast majority that will not, because they are worth more, and that's how I feel.
Yeah. Who do you think that these people are that you're speaking of, the ones in control?
I just think the vast majority of people don't really rely on what politics say.
Okay.
But our government is based on what politics say, so you can't fight that. So they will make their laws, they will do what they feel like they need to, but really peacefulness comes from within, and there's many people out here with it, vast more majority than people with hate.
So you don't think that the citizens really have an effect on elections or policies?
I think they have the most effect, and really what we need in this country is for no one to vote.
What do you think would happen if no one voted?
We'd finally get to where we need to be.
Where's that?
Serenity, peace, like...
Is that achievable?
One of the big problems with me is I went to school for criminal justice. One of the big problems I have is college. And everything's based on a two-party system. There's 4 parties. No one even knows the other 2.
Do you think the two-party system's broken?
There's no two-party system. That's what I just said, is there's a 4-party system.
But you also said the two-party system.
Please vote for only one of 2. That is what it is. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you can't... Thing is, you should never judge someone for being anything. But that's the thing about politics, is we got to judge someone so we feel better, right?
Yeah.
What was that? You can put it back to you. You said yes.
We always have to have an other, apparently.
To blame something on. It's always someone else's problem.
Right.
And if we all just made our own problems our own, instead of blaming other people or blaming something that isn't your problem, but we got to yell at someone, we got to get our frustration out. Go to the gym. Go do something. Go for a hike. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to take your blame out on another person. Just go do something with your own space, and it usually works out a lot better.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate your opinion. Thanks for stopping to talk to me. What was your name?
Feel Good.
Feel Good.
Dr. Feel Good.
Dr. Feel Good.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I know that the Arcata Plaza is getting stale, so that's why I'm planning a West Coast tour. I'm going to be hitting Portland, Seattle, Oakland, San Francisco, LA, and San Diego. If you guys have any suggestions for what you'd like to see from those cities, drop a comment below. I'm probably going to need some help in these cities, maybe a guide or a cameraman, maybe some security, or if you're a journalist working on some stories and you'd like to collaborate, my email will be in the description below. It's going to take a little while for me to get around to all of these cities, so be patient with me on these episodes, but I assure you they will be coming. Help your boy finance this tour by checking out some of the merch, link down in the description. Got some new Free Speech Matters shirts. Anyway, let's get back to some interviews.
For president? Doggo for president?
Bernie Sanders.
Oh yeah? Do you want to do an interview?
I told him neither. I told him
Sure.
So you can say whatever you want.
So today we're asking the question, who will win the 2024 election?
It's anybody's choice, but I'm going to write in my dog.
Your dog. What's your dog's name?
Bernie Sanders.
He's a cutie. Does he like belly rubs?
Hey, Bernie, you want a belly rub? Oh, Bernie, got the belly rubs.
That's a good dog.
I liked him a lot better than the candidates.
All right, Bernie Doggo for president. All right, have a good day.
Do you have to be on the camera?
I can do an off-camera interview, but those aren't very interesting.
Oh, I was just curious about like who comes and talks to you.
You're coming to talk to me now.
I know. Well, it's such a contentious one that I thought it's probably hard to get people to actually say what they think.
This is one of the least contentious ones I've done.
Yeah.
I was here 3 weeks ago talking about abortion, so.
Oh, geez. So you're doing a series of stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Issues that I think matter and issues that we need to have conversations about to move forward on them.
How is the interest in this conversation? Are people coming as frequently to talk about it?
This particular one, the election, it's not very interesting to people. I've had 2 people, and I've been here for about 45 minutes.
What? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, but it is actually a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh well.
Why is it a big deal for you?
Well, I mean, I think there's just a lot of things that are being decided right now at very high levels that actually like impact people enormously, like day-to-day life. Like the Supreme Court is seeing this case right now that's about homelessness and the ability to camp on the street, to be the right to sleep on a street if you choose to do so. And like that's like a case that has like immediate application, and it's about who's going to manage the courts, you know, and obviously like the election of the president plays a huge role in that. I mean, that's one tiny piece of the pie.
Yeah.
So
Who do you think will win?
who do I think will win?
Who do you want to win, but who do you think will win?
Well, like win, how do you mean? Like who's going to actually be the sitting president in a year?
Right, yeah, who's going to win the election in November, yeah.
Well, those are 2 different questions, potentially.
I mean, how so?
Well, like Bush and Gore, or like actually the last couple of elections, like the popular vote has gone one way, very strong.
Right, but we don't elect the president off the popular vote. It's the Electoral College.
The electoral vote. Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. We have to clarify, like, what do we mean? Who's going to win the election?
Well, the winner of the election is who wins the Electoral College.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, I think the terms are actually, sorry to be so specific, but I think it matters, like, to differentiate that. I think that one is impossible to call. Like, yeah, I wouldn't put money either way, not a significant amount.
Who do you want to win?
Who do I want to win? Well, I mean, we're between a rock and a hard place, right? We have 2 presidents, one of whom I, categorically think is unfit for office. And because, like, criminality matters to me, I think, And then the other one.
Well, you could argue that both of the presidents that are running right now are criminals.
You could argue that, but like if you're like actually very gonna follow all those details out, we're talking an extremely long form conversation. Right. But like in a short form conversation, without defining all those terms, no.
You're gonna have half your body.
No, because I have to think about it. So, but I think, who do I want to win? I definitely think that I'm going to stick with the status quo because I think the stop that's offered to us right now is worse.
And what's the status quo?
What we have right now, Biden.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I think that he would try to take that in as good of a, he's going to try to turn this in as good of a way as he can. Like, it's an extremely big ship he's trying to, like, helm, And so he can only turn it how he can turn it, and only with whatever capacity he has. But the other one, I think...
Capacity, that's a big thing. Do you think all of Biden's cognition is there?
I don't think that. I think that is like an irrelevant conversation.
Irrelevant?
To this conversation, yes.
To who's going to be president?
Because I don't think that you or I have any capacity to really judge that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like, I didn't do a neuro exam on him, and I don't know anybody who did. Okay. And, I think that.
What about the special investigators case where they said that he was too unfit to stand trial? He was mentally unfit to stand trial.
Those were not actually the words used.
It was pretty similar to that. What were the exact words?
You think they were similar, but they were not those words, and I'm not going to quote it. It's not in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your opinion. Thanks for stopping to talk to me.
I miss skating. Hello.
Hello.
Are you guys talking to people out here or what?
I just talked.
You guys. Is someone with me? I don't see anyone with me.
I honestly think it might be me,
I
but there's
stand
like a
Sorry.
33% chance
Of what?
that I might win.
Okay. So
I think there's a
you're running for president?
I'm not running for president,
So there's 0% chance that you can win then.
but I already have some votes.
But you're not running. How is that possible?
Well, the presidents we have now are pretty delusional. I think if I think it'll work, everybody else might actually believe it as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sound logic, I suppose.
At least in my community and whatnot.
What's your community?
This is one of my communities that I enjoy my time in. Yes, I do.
So, but for real, who do you think will win the 2024 election?
Who's gonna win? I think we all know who should win, but
Who's that?
who's the most likely candidate to win? I just want to know, because I don't
Most
know.
likely candidate according to polls? Trump.
Okay, so I think we all know who's gonna win. Period. The polls don't lie, right?
I mean, polls are never that accurate, but
The polls, yeah, because didn't he win the last one? But then they said that he lied about the votes, right? So he's being prosecuted. Like,
I don't want to say anything too much on that. I could delve into that.
So we can check
For the hush money trial. For the hush money trial, he was. Yeah, for the Stormy Daniels thing.
anything about it, but I think he's gonna win for sure. And everybody should be grateful and shut up and
Makes sense.
look at the history and look at the current situation and see what's going to be best. Even if you have to put your personal differences aside, your personal viewpoints, I don't think he's going to be a dictator. I don't think that that's a thing in America.
What about the day one comment he made? What do you think about that? He said he will be a dictator only on day one, though. What do you think that he was?
Build the wall.
You think that he was trolling when he said that?
He said he was going to build the wall too, and he only built how much percentage of a wall? So, the way I look at it, presidents only have a certain amount of time to get done what they need, and the amount of time that they have is not enough time to get what they want to do done. That's why only part of the wall got built. That's why every single president we've ever seen, they only ever get a percentage done of the things that they want to do. And so he may have wanted to be a dictator, but he never actually made that a thing while he was president. He never actually put forth the way to become a dictator, I don't think. I mean, maybe because he put his people in the Supreme Court. Do you think that that's a possible way to become a dictator? Because we're seeing that in other countries where the candidate or the president puts in his own people in the Supreme Court. And then that's a way that they get all their votes even after they're not in their term. The next president like Biden comes along and there's all these things going against Biden because he's trying to go this way, but there's already people voting the other way.
Right.
But yet, don't the Republicans just give all their money to the Democrats even when they're not running? The system is rigged. So, unless we get a new system, it's the same Trump, Biden forever. Bush, Obama, I don't know. They're all the same.
Grandfather clock going back and forth, huh?
Some of them today are much worse than the ones that we used to have, I know for a fact. I think my grandmother said something like Reagan gave all the money to the companies to take their companies offshores, and so they got a big tax break like in China and all this stuff, and so that was a really big problem for this country. I don't know that much about politics, to be honest. I've been studying it for the last year.
That's good. That's good to pay attention. Well, I'm glad you stopped to talk to me, and thank you for your opinion. Nice to meet you. My name's Aaron. Nice to meet you. So today we're asking the question, who will win the 2024 election?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has won just by running because he's exposed the DNC for the corrupt, warmongering party that it is. And he's shown that Americans want to come together and be united and be together and not be divided. Trump or Biden, we can choose a good candidate. We don't have to choose the best of two evil choices. We can have freedom of speech. We can have regulatory agencies that care about our health and well-being as they were created to do. We can have a clean environment. We can end this chronic disease epidemic. We can have peace in the world, bring our troops home, and rebuild the American middle class.
Do you think he has a chance to win?
I do. He's polling very high in swing states and very high among younger voters, 35 and under. In the 30%, I understand. But the Biden administration is continuing to deny him Secret Service protection. Secret Service protection became the norm after 2 Kennedys were assassinated. And the only person to ever be denied Secret Service protection who is running for president is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So far, the Biden administration has denied him Secret Service protection 5 times.
Yeah, that is a frightening fact there, that he's the only one that has run for president that hasn't gotten Secret Service protection. And hasn't there been people that have tried to break into his home recently?
Yes, in fact, there was a man posing as a U.S. Marshal who was armed, who showed up at an event in L.A. several months ago. And so that's been, highlighted and brought to the attention of the administration, but they still haven't approved Secret Service protection for him.
Right. Do you think that Kennedy has any chance of bringing over any of the Trump supporters to his side?
I worked with Recall Shasta, which was a bipartisan effort to restore local government in Shasta County. And I saw a lot of Republicans who were very pro-Kennedy, who were very attracted to his message of, really following the science, not just what people have proclaimed as true, but looking at the studies and looking at the information, the data, the real data, not the manipulated data, right, and making decisions based on facts rather than propaganda.
Right.
So I do think that there's a large portion of the Republican base that could conceivably swing his way.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your opinion. That was nice. I liked it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who will win the 2024 election? The corporations. That's easy.
Come tell me. No, I don't. I'm so uneducated on that. Please tell me.
Trump. That's who's gonna win.
Come tell me. I wanted a quick little interview. I'll ask a couple follow-ups.
Sure.
So today we're asking the question, who will win the 2024 election?
Well, hopefully Trump does.
Why do you think he'll win?
State of the union right now is pathetic, and I think it's the Democrat Party that put us in this position.
Yeah?
Yeah, more money's going to other people, other countries. Nobody is paying for the people that need it here. Mental health issue is atrocious, and we're not spending money to fix what needs to be fixed right here.
Do you think Trump's criminal trials could pose a threat to his winning the election?
Oh, because he paid off his lover?
Any of them.
I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that we're going after one single guy when, we should be doing what needs to be done here. Instead of going after one guy, we're spending millions and millions in other countries.
Billions even.
Yeah. So it's sad where we are right now in such a little time.
Yeah. So you think that even with the trials looming over Trump, that he still has a chance to win the election in November?
I'm still going to vote for him. It's not changing my mind.
Right.
Nobody's perfect.
Do you think that this is mostly lawfare being used against Trump by the DNC and the Democratic Party?
I think that they're doing that to keep him from running. and try and change America's mind. That's my thought.
What would you say about Biden's cognition?
Terrible.
Terrible?
Yeah. He's not all there.
There are some people here today that would say that his cognition is not anything for the citizens to judge. What would you say to that person?
Well, I think it's everything for the citizens to judge. I mean, he's our leader. I mean, nobody gives him respect. Who can respect something that is not there?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if someone's cognition is slipping, they're probably not the best person to be holding the nuclear football, would you say?
Yeah. I would say that. Yeah. I appreciate you having this. I bet you this is a great time to have it during this day.
Yeah. 420.
Yeah. Right?
Perfect time.
It's always 420 here.
Right. It's a palindrome day. 4/20/2024. It's the same backwards.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, never thought of that. See? That's why you get the big bucks.
Well, I appreciate your opinion, sir. Have a good day. You have the perfect shirt for this interview.
Thank you.
You want to do one?
Sure.
That's how we lure him in. Compliments on the shirts. No. Over here just a little bit. So today we're asking the question, who will win the 2024 election?
No idea. I know who I hope will win, but I've been very surprised and saddened by I don't know how to say that politely.
That's all right. You don't have to be polite.
By the number of, shall I say, cultists in our country. The MAGA thing is pretty obviously a classic cult. The fanaticism, our leader can't be wrong, everyone else is lying to you. It's basically all from Hitler's playbook.
There are some people that would say that this is happening on the left as well. What would you say to those people?
Well, Democrats have their issues too, for sure. I feel like both sides are relatively bought and paid for by corporate America, and like even before the Citizens United thing, there was too much lobbying, and money in politics that it's kind of all bought and paid for. But this country doesn't really have a left. If you look at it by any like global standards, even Bernie is like center left at worst, or best, whatever. And AOC, they're not leftists by any like global standard whatsoever, they're centrists. So we basically have far right and centrists. There isn't really.
Do you think that AOC is a centrist?
Slightly to the left. I mean, if we had a left wing, they would be talking about redistributing wealth, things like that. And nobody's bringing up anything like that. The Democrats,
I mean, they do constantly talk about redistributing wealth on the left all the time.
Well, not to the extent. I mean, if you go too far, either right or left, you kind of end up with slavery.
Right.
But not to the extent of, oh, we're just going to flat take it. I mean, like, changing tax laws to more fairly distribute the burden is one thing. Physically seizing assets would be what I mean by that would be more of a left-wing thing. And nobody's that I've heard of is actually talking about that. Yeah. They're talking about raising the corporate tax rate back to what it was pre-79 or 78, something like that. And yeah, sorry, I'm a little out of wind. I just rode from McKinleyville.
That's all right.
Without turning the motor on, by the way. So, but yeah, I hope Biden wins, and I'm not a Biden fan. It's just he's the only adult in the room. And
what about the third option there, Kennedy? What do you think about him?
He's a spoiler. He's like his campaign is funded by Republican donors. and he's just a spoiler, and I don't think that helps. I think the world needs us to, well, to some extent, mind our own business, but like in the extent of Ukraine, at least, to like support them. Because I don't get why the Republicans don't see the whole, have never heard of the enemy of my enemy is my friend idea. I mean, with Gaza, it's different because everybody has blood on their hands, and genocide is wrong, and keeping the Gazans in a basically concentration camp, which is what it is wrong. But at the same time, what they did to Israel was also wrong. I can understand why if you grew up in a concentration camp environment, you might be a little upset. But there's no really right, and I wish that Biden was, and he's like been trying to like say, hey, slow it down, like what are you guys doing? Stop. But we could be doing like withholding aid to Israel because we are their major donor, and we're not. I liked that he was like, no, if you hit Iran, you're doing it on your own. I wish he would do more to stop that, but I hope Biden wins ultimately.
What do you think about Biden's cognition and the people that would say that his cognition is slipping? Would you agree with that, or do you think that is...
Compared to Trump, he's sharp as a tack.
You think Biden is sharp as a tack compared to Trump?
Yes. They talk about age. There's 3 years difference, and one of them is has decades of like exhaustively documented lying and fraud, and one of them just a career politician. They're both old men. Trump makes as many or more gaffes and slip-ups than Biden does, and everyone does. I mean, nobody's memory is perfect. So I think that's just political spin, kind of manufacturing outrage about things.
What were your thoughts on the special commission's report saying that Biden was unfit to stand trial for the Biden laptop case?
I don't really know enough about that to comment.
That's fine.
I just don't know.
That's admirable. Well, I appreciate your opinion. Thanks for stopping to talk to me. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Have a good day.
You too.
Happy 420.
Happy 420. It's a palindrome today. 420, 2024.
Yes, I get it.
All right. Have a good day. So today we're asking the question, who will win the 2024 presidential election?
I honestly believe it's anybody's game, but for sure, Kennedy's going to take it away from Biden because, I mean, just look at everything that he's done. He's pretty much destroyed the country, and he keeps funding proxy wars, and I just feel like people are starting to see and wake up.
Right. Some people today have said, compared to Trump, that Biden is sharp as a tack. What would you say to those people?
I think they're delusional. Honestly, when Trump was in office, I felt like the country was better off economically, and I just felt like things were just more organized, and people feared the U.S. like they did back in the World War II or the Vietnam War. But it's not about being like fear-mongering. It's just about like taking care of your citizens, and if you're not taking care of them and you're like putting everything in disarray, and you know, I speak for people that are getting attacked by disorder. Like in San Francisco, people do crimes and they don't even get punished for it. Right. And now people are leaving the city. Like, what is that kind of quality of life? And then, like, I got invited to go to law school out there. I don't want to go there. It smells like piss, and then there's drugs everywhere. There's people like shooting up in the streets, abusing animals. I don't want to see that.
Leaving their windows down just so people don't break them.
Yeah, I used to put a sign up and say, "Don't steal from me, I'm poor." But yeah, no. Honestly, like. I honestly think we need to kind of tighten it up a bit, but we'll see who wins. I mean, hopefully it doesn't turn into a scenario where all these weird votes from dead people show up.
Right. Do you have are you favoring anybody in this election yourself?
You know, at the end of the day, it's all to me, it's like the devil, you know. So it's like who's worst of the worst. But I tend to lean more towards like conservative views.
Right. Were you better off financially during Trump's years? than you are during Biden's, or because you mentioned that people were better off financially during Trump's years. I know I certainly was.
Yeah. No, yeah, I definitely was.
Yeah. Do you think that the criminal trials that Trump faces right now could pose a threat to him winning in November?
Yeah, they could, but I think we had a win in the Supreme Court, so hopefully that keeps that type of, opinion keeps going, and it turns out good for him. Because I think we're not addressing like the Hunter Biden laptop, we're not addressing the Hunter Biden charges, So what's up with that? Or even like the big man, like Biden's like funneling like racketeering money, like what's up with that?
Well, the special commissions, their report said that Biden wasn't fit to stand trial mentally. What do you think about that?
I think and if he's not mentally well to stand trial, he's not mentally well to run the country.
Right. That would follow logic.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I appreciate your opinion. Thank you for stopping to talk to me.
Well, you made me famous with my family the last two.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
People liked you.
Oh, well, that's very nice. You want to try again?
You want to do it again?
Yeah.
All right. Who will win the 2024 election?
Well, of course, we'd like to say the American people. But I have a feeling we might be the losers. Let's think about the various candidates. I guess we've got 1/3 right now Biden, 1/3 Trump, and 1/3 Kennedy, let's say. Kennedy forming the backstop, possibly in case the other two both wind up going to jail and/or, going into some kind of anaphylaxis. But seriously, though, who will be the next president? I'm feeling like it could be another Trump. If that's the case, it will be another reversal of our policies in our country. And it's just this pendulum thing. Obviously, the way things are going now, there are quite a bunch of discontented people. Then again, Trump, he might have some good policies, but he does seem to create a lot of verbal missteps and other things that are just fights for no reason. So everyone's all upset and has that derangement syndrome. Then again, it looks like he's going to win, but then again, I think everyone would be inclined to cheat. I mean, if you could go back in time and kill Hitler, most people would. So if you've been told that Trump Hitler is the big problem, then you probably would do anything to cheat or whatever to try to not have Trump Hitler. So anyway, it's just a mucked up situation. But I think I'm going to go on the record with Trump. It is an underdog, I think. I don't know what the odds are, but I'd be curious to know if there really are betting sites.
I'm not sure the Vegas odds, but I do believe that they have Trump ahead of Biden in the Vegas odds.
Oh. Well, then I guess I'm with the crowd. I guess that's what I've got for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that his potential criminal cases could hinder his winning the election in November?
In any ordinary world, they would. But things are so backwards that I think that it's almost part of his campaign at this point that he's presenting the issue of these people are corrupt and these people won't let you have your choice for president, which is me. I mean, it's an interesting campaign. So I feel like every time they knock him down, the people get more and more fervently in favor of him, including converting all kinds of different people who maybe go for the underdog or maybe go for the outlaw. And then you've got the men and women split, because it seems like women don't prefer Trump and men do. Then you have to figure out who's going to vote. Then you have to figure out who's going to count the votes. So it's, there's a lot of different things in there to handicap. But what was your last question?
I was asking if the criminal cases would hinder his winning the election.
I guess I'm going to have to conclude no. It's just either a wash or a net benefit that he gets the publicity and the thing to talk about of these cases.
Right. It seems to be bolstering his base.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's unique because you have this confluence of like outlaws and super conservative people and people who are against abortion on demand, and people who are concerned about immigration, people who are concerned about the economy. We still have the impression, I think, that Trump as a businessman might have a different take on the economy than a career politician like Biden. So anyway, I'm hoping for a shift in the pendulum. So and now let's talk about Kennedy for a second. You know, do I think Kennedy could do something? It seemed like he had a lot of momentum for a while, which I feel may be diminishing. He seems to keep making some unfortunate choices instead of just kind of focusing on the Constitution. I remember when I first got into politics a lot lately, it was because of Ron Paul, and I love the way he would answer questions, because whatever the question was, statement one would be, well, what is the constitutional basis for this answer? So whatever you would ask, he would say, well, the Constitution says blank, and then he would do an analysis and say where he stood. So I would love to see a politician do that. It feels like Kennedy just will go with wherever the wind blows. He will maybe want to satisfy one group or another. So he tried to satisfy the pro-Israel group by really bending over insanely, you know, like the same with, I think, Ukraine, although I'm not sure what his position remains on Ukraine. But I think most Americans just want us to take care of our own country mostly and not be so concerned with foreign adventures. So I was disappointed that Kennedy just easily bent for that warmongery. Let's see, what else can I say? Biden is absolutely unintelligible. At the last, I mean, unless they jack him up with drugs, what was he on for the State of the Union?
Right, I was wondering the same thing. What cocktail did they have him on?
And when can I get that? When will that be commercially available? I mean, he was nearly lucid, and he was kind of amped up and had, you know, energons, as we say. Yeah, no, I don't know what to say about what he was on then. And I was trying to say that to a friend of mine who's like on the other side, and he completely didn't get it. He just thought he's really bright. I said, well, he did great on that, but he was obviously jacked up on something, and the rest of the time he can't finish a sentence and stuff. So who is running our country? That sort of bothers me. I do not know. I guess the latest news is it's the Clintons and the Obamas.
I was going to say, I've heard that the Clintons and Obamas are in daily contact with the White House, and some people purport that they are actually behind the scenes running the show.
Yeah, which would mean it's maybe Susan Rice or maybe some of the other people that were with the Obama group. And then we know that the Clintons and Obamas didn't really get together. They are factionalized. So we are really in a bad situation, I think, when we don't really have a president that's functional. So I hope we've learned that lesson and then can go forward accordingly.
Some people out here today have said that compared to Trump, Biden is sharp as a tack. What would you say to those people?
I honestly don't know what perceptions they had themselves or if they were fed that through commentary, because I think a lot of people still remain under this hypnosis of the talking heads on TV, and I don't find their opinions to be any more valuable than the opinions that are always out here on the Arcata Plaza or on the internet of independent people. And in fact, the independent people don't have an axe to grind, whereas these people on the media brought to you, you know, by Pfizer, and every single military-industrial, you know, sponsor just do not have their own opinions. They have corporate opinions. Right. As in fact, just recently I saw this Bill Maher with Katie Couric, and usually I like Bill Maher because I think he's halfway out, but he's sort of halfway waking up. And he usually has interesting guests. But in this case, he had Katie Couric, who's like another talking TV head. And it was just instantly so plastic and phony compared to the less TV talking head kind of people that he has. And she was there humping a new book she wrote. And it was just a drag. I mean, it's just so predictable. She's just like, she's a mini Hillary, whatever she is. She's got a fake smile, a fake attitude, a fake answer for everything. It's totally canned and packaged. So I think that's the problem, is that people who would have these kind of opinions that are just canned and packaged, I guess that's it. It's hear it and then say it like a parrot. But anyone who's thinking just can't think that Biden is doing a good job or did a good job. How could you wouldn't trust him to drive home? You wouldn't give him the remote if you were watching TV with him. I mean, he seems completely. If he was your uncle, of course you'd love him and you'd take good care of him. You wouldn't think he should be president of the United States, leader of the free world, right, Tony? I mean, it's as if he would go talking to animals and expect them to answer back.
What do you think, Tony? Right.
There you go.
All right, Bob. Well, I appreciate your opinion.
It's an honor indeed.
Yep, thank you. Have a beautiful day. So today we're out here asking the question, who will win the 2024 election?
Well, it's a hard choice because they're both, in my opinion, they're neither one of them are all that great of choices.
There's a third option.
Who's the third option?
Kennedy Jr.
Oh yeah. I don't know that whole lot about him, but my gut is that Trump will probably win. And I'm actually a conservative, so I should be happy about that, but he's just, I'm thinking that the American people need to turn to new, maybe younger people. They're both candidates are getting close to being in their 80s, and I just think that is an issue.
Do you think cognition is slipping for either one of the candidates?
Well, definitely from what I've seen of Joe Biden, I'm a physician myself, so I know the signs of dementia. And there's definitely some dementia there. I haven't seen it as much in Trump, but in general, that's why, in my own opinion, I think there should be an age limit, an age max for candidates. But
right.
I would probably vote for Trump just because of the lack of a better choice, but I was a fan in his first presidency of a lot of things he did. I know he was a very sparked a ton of controversy type of president. So I wish we had another candidate that maybe both sides would agree on a little bit more rather than be so polarizing.
Do you think that there was a better candidate during the primaries that could have maybe had this positioning to win?
Yeah, I think if Trump would have kind of stayed out of it, I'm betting Ron DeSantis would have probably been on the Republican ticket.
Not Nikki Haley?
Maybe, but I was a pretty big DeSantis fan. But
yeah, you like what he's doing with the laws in Florida?
I do. I think he's running Florida very, very good. I like the way he handled COVID and all that stuff. But Trump's sort of this big, kind of the bulldog that he's got a lot of followers.
Right.
And a lot of disgruntled people about what happened in 2020 and all that stuff. So I'm guessing if he can stay out of jail anyway. Yeah. I know there's a ton of people trying to put him in jail for this and that, but
that was going to be my next follow-up. Do you think that his criminal cases will put a hindrance on him winning the election in November? Or do you think maybe that it's just bolstering his base?
Honestly, I think it's bolstering his base because they haven't been able to convict him of anything, and they probably won't, but and what they do convict him of is going to probably be minor stuff if they find something that sticks. But obviously, that's the whole political machine. They're going to come out. I kind of quit watching the news of probably 6 months ago because I got so fed up with all the partisanship on all the news channels.
Right.
So I just barely heard that the House impeached Biden. Is that right?
I believe that.
I know the Senate said no. Didn't.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah, I believe there was a motion to do it, and it passed in the House and failed in the Senate, I believe.
So I just think it's silly that we do keep impeaching everybody just because we don't. When the Republicans get in, they're gonna get impeached by whoever's in power in Congress if it's not their own party, and then the same thing happens. Now everybody's impeached, and
it's a bit of a rubber band effect, right?
So worried about taking down the other candidate that they don't have time to worry about the problems in the country. Right. And that's what drives me crazy.
Right.
It's like we elect somebody. Once all of it comes in, and if that's our president, both any side, independents, left, right, we should all sort of kind of come together to support whatever politicians to make our country a better place. But we don't do that because the press stirs us up, and
Right.
We're always just, all we're doing is fighting with each other and nothing's getting done.
Right.
So that frustrates me.
Some people today have said that compared to Trump, Biden is sharp as a tack. What would you say to those people?
I could be missing something and never met the guy. I have actually met Trump. He seemed pretty sharp. This has been a few years ago, but it just seems like when I used to watch the news and I saw Biden on there, you could almost physically see the machines around him moving him to say what he's been programmed to say. I don't know that in my own opinion, I don't know that he has a whole lot of independent decisions. I guess no president really does.
Right.
But
yeah.
Could I be wrong? He doesn't have dementia, yeah. But it just, even if he doesn't, being 80-something, again, I'm a physician, so I know this. When you hit it around 65-ish, our body starts to get tired and you can't stay up 24 hours anymore. You need more rest. So to do a job like the President of the United States takes a ton of energy, whether you got your cognition or not. So that's why I am in support of an age limit on not only presidential candidates but congressional and candidates too. But if you ever see the news clips of the Congress going on, and you see a bunch of very senior citizens, half of them are asleep, they're having their pages or whatnot come and do their votes for them. But I am complaining about stuff that's not going to change in a long time, so
Yeah, that's all right.
It's hard. I'm a huge fan of term limits. If I had my choice, I would put term limits on every single position. Right. And eventually, over the course of 10 years, all those old people are going to be rooted out of there. And I think that's what we need is new people, new ideas. And
what about like bureaucrats? Do you think that there should be limits on like bureaucratic positions that are appointed instead of elected?
Yeah, I do. I mean, there are certain ones that it's just they're going to be appointed, but I am very much in favor of campaign finance reform because I think they should get all the lobbyists the hell out of there.
Right.
Shouldn't. I wish we lived in a country where you didn't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire to run for president.
Right.
But you do in our current system. And then you got to suck up to all these companies, lobbyists, gun lobbyists, LGBT, all these lobbyists that are giving money. So you got to kind of do what they want you to do, or else you're not going to get elected. I wish. Again, wishful thinking. You need a whole new overhaul to do all the stuff I wish, but
right.
In answer to your question, I would guess Trump would probably win if he's not in jail.
Right. All right, well, I appreciate your opinion. Thanks for stopping to talk to me. Today, the question is about the election. Who will win the 2024 election? Who's running? Trump and Biden and Kennedy Jr.
Is that it?
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I wish we had more choices. I mean, come on, Trump again, give me a break. Biden again, give me a break. Another Kennedy, who needs that? We need some fresh blood here. We need some people that are under 70 years old. If these are our choices, you know who's going to win? Death.
Yes. Do you think that there were better choices in the Republican primary than Trump?
Can I think about that a minute?
That's fine. Take your time.
I really sincerely wish that I could, and I do follow the news a bit across the board. I wish I could go, yeah. It seems like it's always been pointing to Trump, and here he is, a criminal, and Biden, who's a derelict, and another candidate, and again, who needs that? So where are the other choices? We're in big trouble if there was somebody that was contrary to the New World Order, shall we just put it that way, they would be assassinated. And you know, the Zionists are real good at assassination, so what can I say? That seems to be the model. I'm really concerned.
Freedom is not a choice. Freedom is an offering. And where we're moving into is that we're teaching people that they have to choose what is being fed to them, but we're already up to the story that things that are being offered to us are being controlled by one group of people, whatever choice it may be. There's not very many choices, as you were saying in the first place. We have to really teach our people that freedom is not a choice, freedom is an offering. And if you can't offer something from your individual self, you are not truly free. But we have not set up the system to abide like that. It has us chasing us around, that we have to make choices between things that we don't even want.
I am asking the question, who will win the 2024 election? Do you want to do an interview?
I don't really know who's going to win, but I appreciate what President Trump did before. He's very strong, and he was does not have a very nice personality, but he knows how to get stuff done.
Right.
So that's why I appreciate President Trump. And we have not had a lot accomplished with this last President Biden, and that has been very negative. And I want to see people helped, and so people are taken care of, and not this kind of a negative force. I do that out here, try to help a lot of people and talk to them, encourage them, and I've lived here since 1965. Been here a long time, yeah. But I appreciate you doing a survey. That's good.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming by and giving me your opinion.
Yeah. God bless you.
God bless you. Have a good day.